Hey everybody, I'm so glad you're with us this week because I'm going to take you fishing at one of my very favorite locations. I love mountains, I love crystal clear water, and I love fish, and this place has all three. It's a beautiful place, and we're going to have fun in the next half hour because our show is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hey everybody, we've made it to one of my favorite places for a fishing vacation. This is one of the cottages at Mountain Harbor Resort outside Hot Springs, Arkansas. We've got the Nitro Z20 and the Mercury Pro XS loaded up, ready to go down to the boat ramp. And I'd like to welcome you in to beautiful Lake Ouachita. Now, this lake is a deep, clear lake. It's got all kinds of fish in it: walleye, largemouth bass, stripers, crappie, white bass. On today's show, we're going to take you out there and show you what's going to be happening with the white bass and the stripers over the next few months as the colder weather moves in and the water temperatures drop. These fish are going to start staging, and if you know where they are, not only here at Ouachita, but at your favorite reservoir, you can catch them all winter long. While we're out doing that, we're taking you around the region for this week's fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters from lakes, rivers, and bays, right where you live, both saltwater and freshwater. Now, today's cold north wind. It's going to rain later. We're going to put on the full warm rain gear and get out there, and I'm going to drag out one of my toughest fishing buddies, Bruce Gilby from Little Rock, to stay in the boat with me all day and keep me company. Right now, let's get things started back at the studio with your weekend planner.
These cylinder tables are showing fair game fish activity this weekend. The best times to be on the water are in the morning, starting around 8:30 on Saturday and 9:30 on Sunday, or in the evening, starting at 8:55 on Saturday and 9:55 on Sunday. Expect the sun to rise at 7:06 and set at 5:24. And evenings will feature a moon that is 13% visible. We're coming right back with fishing updates from around the area, plus I'll return with 2015 Bassmaster Classic champion Casey Ashley on this week's Ask the Pro feature. Stick with us.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide's wireless and easy-to-use XI3, Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist, Strike King, Taiwan On, Nitro Performance Fishing Boats, because champions aren't born, they're made.
We're right out here in the river channel, and we're in the place where the river dumps into the lake. There's one. Hey, that's going to be a striper. I think it's going to be a decent one too. I'm back on the other side. He's going under the boat. Well, we made it out on Ouachita and got some good wind today. And actually, for these stripers, I want wind. I like it when the wind's out here just giving me a good chop on the water. It makes them a lot less spooky. They'll come up closer to the surface and they'll hit an artificial better. Yeah, that's a good striper. Here we go. Come in here, buddy. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. There we go. Well, there's my first one this trip. I love these fish because of how fat they are. These fish on this lake are wide-bodied dudes, man. And there we go. That's a good striper for you to get it started. We're right out here in the river channel, and we're in the place where the river dumps into the lake. And that is the direction that these stripers are going to be migrating towards as fall goes on into winter, and as the colder water hits, colder weather, these fish begin their annual migration up toward the rivers. They won't go up in the rivers yet, but they position themselves right at the headwaters of the lake, right where the rivers dump in. And that's right where we're located right now. We're only a couple of miles from where it actually nicks down into the main river channel. So we're off to a good start, got a good striper. We'll put that one back. Back he goes. Thank you, buddy.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report. This week brought to you by Crazy Sister Marina. Located on the Marsh Walk in Merle's Inlet, the leader in water sports, we take care of all your needs. You want to come down, enjoy the rest of the fall, book your trip now, or book your trip for April and May offshore next year. The incredible bite that goes on in the Carolinas during April and May, we can take care of that. Visit crazysistermarina.com for more information. Freshwater side of things, lots going on in the Carolinas. You know, the largemouth bass bite is incredible this time of the year, but the striped bass bite has been even more incredible. I tell you what, going to Lake Marion and talking about what's going on down there, in particular in the Potato Creek area, in the river channels out there, the schools of striped bass have been incredible. Get out with top water, throw a swim bait, anything like that, something that you get it just below the surface when those fish aren't busting on top. You can catch some incredible fish and some great numbers this time of the year. Remember, if you're out there in that sunken forest, be careful. Be careful out there. It's very dangerous, but if you just get out there, take your time, you're gonna find plenty of seagulls. They're gonna put you right on top of the fish, and it's that time to get out there and enjoy it. Let's move to Lake Wateree in South Carolina, over outside of Camden, and the striped bass bite there continues to be incredible, but also the crappie bite. Live bait fishing on brush piles now. They're starting to move offshore. They're getting a little bit deeper in that 14 to 16 foot of water. Set up on top of those brush piles with some good live bait. Those fish are there. Get down in that brush pile. You're going to catch some big slabs this time of the year. This has been your Carolinas Report brought to you by Crazy Sister Marina. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
I downsized to a spinning rod and a little small 1/4 ounce jig head. Just a good fighter on light tackle. Oh, there's one. I saw that fish on my graph. Hey, welcome back everybody. We're still on Lake Ouachita today. And we are just out in open water fishing for some fish that are headed up. We're catching a mixture, that's a striper. Catching a mixture of stripers and white bass. That's not a big one. I got a net here. Let's see if I can ease him in the net. There, I got him. Well, that's not a one of those classic Ouachita stripers by any stretch, but it's just a good fish. I caught that fish on ultralight tackle basically. I had downsized to a spinning rod and a little small 1/4 ounce jig head. There we go. All right, just a good fighter on light tackle. Well, I'll let that fish go back. I want to explain to you that we are using some dead sticking techniques today. As these fish get further and further into winter, and as this water temperature plummets and gets colder, you've really got to slow down with your presentation. So these fish that we're catching, we have literally got the boat stopped. We are just parked out here. I've got my Motor Guide XI5 wireless trolling motor behind me working, and it's just holding us steady. And we're in the mouth of a bay, right at the mouth of the river. So the river dumps in, the river's back here behind us, the main lake is out here in front of us, and this is just the perfect staging area for these fish. They stay the winter here, and then early spring they're gonna go up that river and spawn. The stripers think they're gonna spawn, but most of them don't actually spawn. The white bass will spawn. So we're catching a mixture of both today. You don't know what you're going to catch when one bites. That's the fun of it. No spinning rod, that's really a lot of fun. But all I'm doing really is just dropping my line over the side of the boat and letting it spool down. And I'm watching on my graph where these fish are. And they're about 30 feet down in about 50 feet of water right now. And just letting this bait go down to about the depth they're at. And I'm gently just kind of lifting, easing it up and down just a little bit, and letting that bait just kind of float in the water right in front of them, and they'll reach out and grab it.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee Fishing Report. It is cool out here. It is just what we've been looking for. And let me tell you who makes this report possible. Go over to cancooker.com. Check out their product line. I tell you this every week, and I guarantee you, those of you that have taken my advice are happier than those of you who haven't. They've got tons of stuff that you're gonna enjoy. They've got stuff that you're gonna use. They got stuff you're gonna gift to other people. The holidays are right around the corner. Check them out at cancooker.com. They figure out how to cater to your crowd. Hey, this is like my favorite time of year to fish. I love to hunt, so I'm a little conflicted this time of year, but typically, as is right now, the fishing is so good that it's worth spending your time on the water. I love to fish fast. I love to throw a topwater bait, and that's what this time of year is made for. I cover a ton of water this time of year, walking a topwater bait, throwing a buzz bait, throwing a red eye shad, a square bill, a swim bait. In Mississippi, man, Ross Barnett's so hard to beat for quality. I might go to Bay Springs though, because you got two different kinds of deals. Ross Barnett's gonna be, you know, real shallow, dirty water. You're gonna throw that spinner bait and that buzz bait. Bay Springs, I'm probably gonna throw that walking bait off secondary points and try to catch some of those big giant spots that lake is known for. In Alabama, Gunnersville is so hard to beat this time of year, and I throw the Mega Dog, the big Strike King Mega Dog, and go throw it around the ends of those dead grass mats, go throw it around those ditches that wind back in flats. And then in Tennessee, I am probably going to Center Hill, Chickamauga, Dale Hollow, or maybe all three. They're not that terribly far apart. And I'm gonna go throw that same thing. I'm gonna throw a Mega Dog and a swim bait around a bunch. And I am looking for bait fish. I'm looking for windy areas that shallow water has deep water that comes up close to them. But most of all, I'm looking for that great big fish that's feeding up, getting ready for winter. So if you want to get in on some of that, get on over here. It's really good. We'd love to see you. God bless.
There's one. Feels like a white bass. Feels like a white. Oh yeah, it's a big old white. Wow. Look at the size of that one. There's a big old white bass for you right there. That's a good Ouachita white, big one. I want to show you a couple of other quick things. My buddy Bruce Gilby is with me. He lives in Little Rock and runs a car dealership up there, been a friend of mine for a long, long time. And he actually caught a couple of fish, just to show you that you can catch anything up here. He caught a big white bass. I want to show you this big white bass that he caught first. Then Bruce caught a crappie out here, a great big crappie. Everything Bruce catches is big. Big white bass, big crappie. But he reeled in a fish. We thought it was going to be a white or a little striper. It was a crappie. And again, it was a big giant crappie. So everything's staging here in the mouth of the river. Late fall, headed into these wintertime months. That's where these fish are all going to be.
Buck Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Mercury, Go Boldly. Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder. Balls Out, made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders.
There you go, buddy. Solid 2 1/4 pounder anyway. How about that? Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Glad you're along with us today from beautiful Lake Ouachita, set in the central part of Arkansas, just outside Hot Springs. And we're staying at the best place on the entire lake at Mountain Harbor Resort. More about that later. We're out here on, as you can tell, just a miserable day. This is cold, it's cloudy, it's overcast, it's been drizzling and misting and spitting rain all day. The wind is blowing out of the north. It's not a day for man nor beast out here, but we've managed to grub out a few fish. I'm out here with my good buddy Bruce Gilby, and we've got a pretty good little deal going. I'm dead sticking, fishing straight up and down as we're drifting across these little points and out through this open water and watching our graph, watching for fish. And Bruce is fan casting with a swim bait. A lot of these fish are in schools. In fact, Bruce has got one right now. You got it? You do. Big old, is that a crappie again? Or no, it's a big white bass. There you go, buddy. Look how fat that fish is. Look at the size of that white. That's a solid 2 1/4 pounder anyway. How about that? Cool, dude. Well, as I was saying, as I was so rudely interrupted by Bruce's fish, we're watching our graph and you can see the bait, the shad, is all suspended up off the bottom. We're fishing 40, 50 feet of water, but most of the shad we're seeing are in big balls, as you can see them on my Lowrance HDS Live, and they're suspended up 25 to 35 feet deep. That's why that swim bait Bruce just caught that fish on is doing well, because he's swimming it through those schools of bait fish, through those shad. And then again, I'm trying to fish a little deeper and catching just a mixture of stripers and white bassinates. Been a good day so far. We're gonna hang in here and see what happens, but it's not a day you want to be out without all your cold weather and rain gear on, that's for sure. Got him? Got him. All right, Bruce, baby. What does it feel like? A fish? Big white again. There you go. Another one, baby. All right, look at the size of that dude, man.
Well, fall fishing is really kicking into high gear. There's been some great catches caught along the southeast coast, and I'll have all the details, but first this from our good friends at Foreshore Transportation. Foreshore Transportation, the simple solution to all your freight hauling needs. Foreshore can ship freight across the country or across the state. Whatever the load, wherever the destination, Foreshore gets it done fast, safe, and hassle-free. Savannah, Georgia Captain Jack McGowan says there's red-hot fishing along the coast there for big redfish and spotted sea trout. He says that the inshore creek mouths have been really good for both those species of fish, and the shell bar areas also have been good. Jack says there's still plenty of shrimp up in the creeks. The east winds and hard weather along the coast of Georgia is holding up that fall migration of shrimp, which is tough for the shrimpers, but it makes the inshore fishing really good. Sheepshead fishing also starting to turn on along the Georgia coast. They're catching those fish on fiddler crabs around rocks, docks, pilings, and that sort of thing. Flounder fishing also has been good, particularly in the southeast part of Georgia, near the St. Mary's River inshore area there. There's lots of estuaries and bays and creeks that pour into the Atlantic Ocean, and there's been some really good flounder catches there, and there's some big fish too. Spinnerbaits, single blade spinnerbaits that also work real well for flounder and redfish, and if you want you can tip it with a mud minnow or a small finger mullet, and that makes it all the better. Over in Mississippi, the lower Biloxi Bay area has been good for trout to 3 pounds. Night fishing is most consistent for those fish. In Alabama, it's redfish. It's a sure thing for redfish. The lower river grass beds have been good in the Mobile Bay area and also around Dixie Bar. Well, that's it for the coastal South. Get out in the water and take a youngster with you when you go.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and the follow button on Twitter, and watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free Waypoint TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. Request our free 2019 fishing guide at orangebeach.com. Lose, feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland, the best in bass and crappie lures, heads to tails. Glacier Glove, stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Lewis wants to know, what is the coldest day you can ever remember fishing, and did you catch anything? To get the answer, we checked with MLF angler Casey Ashley.
Coldest day I can ever remember is by far the 2015 Bassmaster Classic on Lake Hartwell. It was actually the coldest that I have ever been in my life. It was 9 degrees. We had a 2-hour delay because we couldn't get the boats unfroze from the boat trailers. The wind was blowing, it was nasty. I caught my fish in like 30 to 40 foot you know, it was just a memorable time for me. Not only was it the coldest day, it was actually the biggest day of my life, so it was pretty cool.
Thank you, Casey. If you have a question for one of the anglers, visit our website, follow the Ask the Pro link, and send it in. Now let's see who wins the big catch of the week.
Hey everybody, we're back at Mountain Harbor Resort with the boat on the trailer, and it's time right now for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. She is Tanya Carroll of Hohenwald, Tennessee, with a 6.5-pound largemouth bass she caught at Beach Lake, Tennessee. If you'd like to have a chance to be our next winner, just go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com, search for Fox Sports Outdoors to get to our page, hit the like button to like the page, and post your photo there, and you'll be eligible to be on television. It's time for our gear segment. Let me show you a couple of baits that we caught these fish on today. The dead sticking fish, the stripers and a couple of the white bass, we caught on just a big 1.5 ounce lead jig head with the white soft plastic jerk bait on the back of it. Then a lot of those big white bass, especially the ones Bruce caught, were caught on a lead jig head, pretty heavy, about a 1/2 to 3/4 ounce, and it's got a Jean LaRue Sweet Swimmer on the back of it. One other critical piece of gear I'd like to mention is the mount that holds my fish finders. You wouldn't really think that would be that big a deal, but it is huge. I struggled for many years trying to find one that would hold up to the pounding and the big waves that my boat takes when it's out on some of these bigger lakes. This is the Balls Out Fish Finder mount. It is sturdy. It is thick, it is durable, it will adjust in all kinds of ways. It's the one most of the pros use out on the big fishing tours, and it has served my purposes very well. In fact, I have these Balls Out mounts on all 3 of the boats that we use here on our show, our saltwater boat and our Tracker aluminum boat as well. Check them out at their website. The address you see on your screen, the Balls Out Heavy Duty Fish Finder electronics mounts will serve your purpose as well. I have them on all my boats. They are unbelievable. In my travels, I get to see some unbelievably spectacular sunrises and sunsets. In our culture, the first thing we typically do is start scrambling around for the smartphone and snapping away at those pictures and posting them on social media. The truth of the matter is, no camera can ever do justice to one of those sunsets like your natural eyes can. And frankly, even out there on social media, nobody really cares to stare at your sunset picture on a tiny little screen. So the next time God paints a spectacular scene for you, resist the urge to grab your smartphone and simply stare at it, soak it in, enjoy it with your natural eyes, because it's only there for a few seconds and then it's gone. We had a good time catching these fish for you on this week's episode from Lake Ouachita here at Mountain Harbor Resort, which is where we stay every time we come here. I want to show you a couple of quick shots around this place. Bill and Patty do a great job here, but even beyond the comfortable furnishings, the great cabins, the great motel rooms, the great restaurant, food, marina, everything they have here, they treat you like friends and like family when you come. So contact them at the information you see on your screen and book your own stay here at Mountain Harbor Resort at Lake Ouachita, west of Hot Springs, Arkansas. And if you'd like to book a guide trip, you can either contact Mike Worm at the contact information you see on your screen, or you can contact Mountain Harbor Resort and they'll put you in touch with a guide for the day that you'd like to go fishing here as well. Hope you learned a few things about locating these migrating schools of white bass and stripers, and you can follow them on your home lake as well. We'll see you next week. Until then, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.